Go back to December 2009 when Mark came in. It was not looking healthy for the club on or off the pitch, was it? And that's probably was to turn that around as quickly as he did was probably one of his greatest achievements at Cheltenham.
Yeah, no, without question. He and Neil, to be fair, Neil was hugely involved in that as well. I remember speaking to them at my house with a couple of the directors and explaining the situation we were in. Of course, at the time they were both in employment at Kidderminster, so we had to negotiate to get them out of Kidderminster. But they wanted to come, because of the passion for the club. They could see what a state it was in, that it was hurting them. Which is why they were the right appointment, because they felt passionate about the football club. And I want people here who are passionate, whether it's passionate directors, passionate staff, passionate players, passionate fans. That's what we need to be. And they were, and they are. And I'm sure that we will still be the first club they look out for in their results, both Mark and Neil. But yeah, they inherited a very, very difficult situation, both in where we were in the league, with the squad. With no money, I don't believe, I can't recall, but I don't think we spent any money in strengthening the squad. They had what they had, and they did a fantastic job. It was nip and tuck. I remember we lost at home to Mansfield, Macclesfield, I think it was, and then went to Lincoln and won. And Danny Andrews scored, didn't he, I think. So, lots and lots of stress and sleepless nights during the whole of that era, the era that preceded that. Not a great time to be involved in Cheltenham Football Club. And it's a very sad moment now. But Mark was very, very. He's a proud man, and he was very calm when I spoke to him yesterday, and thanked us for the opportunity that we gave him. And likewise, I was able to thank him. Words that got difficult to explain, but how much, as I said earlier, the contribution he's made. And that's why, as I keep saying, it's a really difficult thing to have to do. Not something that I've enjoyed doing.
Yeah, went from saving the club almost to not that long, going to Wembley and Tottenham, 2 playoffs in a row, and Everton at home. So it was. Do you think he overachieved?
Yeah, and that is the problem. I mean, we know what our crowds are, we know what our budgets are, we know that we're, in terms of budgets and crowds, we're sort of average League Two, but we constantly kick above our weight. Hanging around in League One when we did, as long as we did, and going to playoffs 2 consecutive years. Not many teams that do that. And I think, to an extent, with the start of the season as well, which we had such a good start, expectations are raised, and of course, perhaps if we'd had a slower start, we wouldn't be thinking we should be doing much better than we are. But thank God we did have that good start, because obviously September, October, November have been disappointing. But I can't fault him at all. He may well look back and decide he perhaps could have done things better. But for him, it's all part of a learning curve of being a football manager. It's the first time he's had this experience. Obviously, he went from Burnley to Kidderminster, and then Kidderminster here. So it's a new experience for him, not a great experience. But I'm sure he will learn from it. And he will take away some fantastic memories and some fantastic achievements, and he can rightly put himself high up there in one of the best, most successful managers at this football club. And I mean that, because I think to do what he did on the budgets that he did, on the crowds that we had, was a huge achievement.
And you said new man's coming in on Thursday. All the rest of the backroom staff going to be unchanged.
Yeah, reassured. We're not looking at wholesale changes here. I think Mark was very quick to commend to me the quality of his backroom staff, how supportive they've been of him during this whole period. Since they've been here, since he's been here, we put together. We tweaked it at the start of the season with the video analyst and the fitness coach coming in. Obviously, a new assistant first team coach coming in. So we have tweaked it, and we have changed it, and I think that's gelled and that's worked together. So we're not going to change that. But obviously, then it's up to the new manager when he comes in to get to know the people, get to know the team, and stamp his own style onto the club, onto the way we play. He's got a tough job. Let's be fair. It's not the easiest job in the world. We haven't got money to throw at it. But he'll have done his research. He's already done a lot of research into the club and our results, and looked at videos and stuff like that. So he's going to come in as prepared as he can be. But it's a tough job, and we have to be careful that we don't raise expectations. There's always this expectation when a new manager comes in, but you know, at the end of the day, he's still got to deal with a very difficult situation. But he will. He's our first choice, and we're delighted that he's accepted our offer. And we look forward to announcing him and introducing him to the press and on Thursday, and of course as fans on Saturday. And I think on that note, I think, you know, fans will have mixed views about our decision. You know, the vociferous ones will be pleased, but perhaps the quieter fans who aren't so vociferous will be perhaps a little bit upset, like I am. But the bottom line is, we've done what we think is the best decision for the Cheltenham Town Football Club, you know, and that is our first and foremost concern. And really now I just want the supporters, whether they're pro Mark or anti Mark, just to get behind the football club, get behind the new manager, get behind the fans, get behind the team, buy their tickets and come along and watch us beat our local rivals Oxford on Saturday, and then really cheer us on the following week for Dover, because that is such a big game, and that will be a tough game, because we know they're physical and they're tough and they're in your faces, and you know, that's a little bit like Stevenage.